Hey, what's up, New York? Welcome back to the Knicks cave. Free agency is over, but did the Knicks do enough to get back to the playoffs? Better yet, to get back to the fourth seed. Let's talk about that. Like I said, let's talk about the fact that the Knicks had almost $55 million to spend in free agency. A lot of people don't respect the signing that we made and think that we may have overpaid for certain players. I mean, we may have overpaid for a player or two, but at the same time, I think it was necessary for the team chemistry, and we're going to talk about that right now. The first player up is Noel. With Mitchell Robinson constantly hurt last season, Noel was forced into a more significant role, averaging 5.1 points a game and 6.4 rebounds and shooting 61% from the field. Noel had one of his best seasons of his career. However, his biggest impact was on defense, where he blocked 2.2 shots per game and he had one steal per game. And I don't know, will Mitchell Robinson be able to get that starting job? I mean, we all talking about Noel as a backup, but the way he played and his durability, I mean, he got hurt down the line, but he played, even with being hurt, he played more games than Mitchell Robinson. Like I said, he was a beast in the paint, meeting players at the rim to reject their shot. While Noel's stats doesn't stand out as a lot of, to show his value, that doesn't show, let me repeat myself. Like, I know his stats don't just jump out off the paper, but what he do for the team, you can't really just put on his stat sheet. He do so much other little things. And the Knicks must agree with me because they gave him a 3-year, $27 million contract. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, it's a 2-year contract because the third year is an option. And that's what I like about most of the contracts the Knicks gave out this year. The third year, almost everybody third year is an option, which leaves the Knicks flexibility for the year 22-23 when the free agency come around. So let's get right back into Noel, like I was saying. Like I said, with the third year not guaranteed, paying him nearly $10 million, it's a lot of money for a backup. I have to agree with this reporter. It's a lot of money for a backup center. But will he be the backup center? But the defense that he provides cannot go unnoticed. So I'm giving this signing a grade of a B- for New Orleans Noel. And let's get right back to let's get right back into it and say Derrick Rose. Now, Derrick Rose was a pleasant surprise, you have to admit. And what he did in the playoffs, if we just would have had that one player, it's like Randall just went cold, but we just would have got one more player to do what they had to do, who knows how far we would have went. I'm not saying championship, but we would have did better than what we did. As soon as the Knicks acquired Derrick Rose from the Detroit Pistons at the deadline, the team took a massive step forward. It is clear that Rose is more than capable of being a starting point guard in the NBA, but at his age, he certainly has taken a toll on him. With Elfrid Payton offering little to nothing during the postseason, Rose was forced to play more minutes, picking up some small injuries that impacted his production and his efficiency. To be honest, it started wearing on him. Nonetheless, he averaged 14 points, 4 assists, and he shot a career high from the three, which was 41%. And that was over 35 games, I may add. It wasn't just in the postseason. He did that once when the Knicks acquired him, it's like his stats just took off. Like he was wasting over there in Detroit, and he didn't want to be in Detroit, but I'm glad the Knicks got him. And I'm being honest, I give him, before I tell you what I give his grade, the Knicks rewarded him with a 3-year, $43 million contract. And like I said, the third year is optional. And I give this signing a grade of a B+. The third signing we made, now it's not really an order, but it's my order. It's Alec Burks. One of the Knicks' top guns last season, Burks played an essential role off the bench, serving as a shooting guard and a small forward. The former first-round pick from 2011 averaged 12.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, and shot 42% from the field. He also hit on 41% from three-point. Like, Burks is not the best defender, but his ability to play multiple positions really helped the Knicks out last year. And this the way the different combination that we was able to use him on the court, whether it be defense or offense. And I guess that convinced the front office, like the management, to give him a 3-year contract too. Like all these 3-year contracts, and that's $30 million. And like I said, the third year is optional. And I'm gonna give this signing a B. Not a plus, not a minus, but a B. It's still a good signing. And our biggest acquisition was Evan Fournier. And he was one of the most lucrative ones, to be honest with you. He played with Boston and Orlando Magic. He come in, he's our replacement for Reggie Bullock. I mean, he's not as good as on defense as Reggie Bullock, but the man averaged 17 points a game. You know what I'm saying? And 30 minutes. And he attempts at least six 3-pointers per game. He shoot 41% from downtown. I think that's way better than Reggie Bullock. I mean, I'll miss Reggie Bullock defense, but they call Reggie Bullock a 3-and-D guy, but he's just a 3-and-1 dimensional, if you want to ask me, because he really doesn't do much else other than that. Even on his defense, sometimes if he's not into the game, it's suspect. But I liked him, and he gave us enough last year. But we're talking about Evan Fournier, and he's coming in to get us over that hump. He can create his own shot, which would take pressure off Julius Randle, and it would help Randle. Last year when Randle got the ball, actually, like this team, I'm not even gonna say that only he's gonna take the pressure, because y'all know who we signed, so I'll get to that too. But it's gonna be a better year for Julius Randle. The Knicks gave Evan Fournier a 4-year. This is the only one other than Randle. He gave him a 4-year contract worth $73 million. And the third year is optional on that 4-year contract. So it gives the Knicks some flexibility down the road also. And I'm giving that signing a grade of a B. Now, the best signing, one of the biggest surprises of the offseason was signing Kemba Walker. It was actually a gift in the middle of July, where you want to call it, like Santa Claus said, I ain't riding with the sleigh, I got the convertible out. But having landed him on a 2-year, $17.9 million deal, the Knicks couldn't imagine that in their wildest dreams. But he was available at a price, and a great price. Having struggled to stay healthy last season with knee issues, Kemba was only able to play in 43 games, right? But after the All-Star break, he had a knee problem, but his statistics just skyrocketed. But the injury lingered, and it forced him to miss some games. I'm not gonna lie to you. But at 30 years old, I think he had a little bit left, because he's 30 years old, but 2020 he was just an all-star. You know what I'm saying? He was an all-star in 2020, and that's not that far back. He's a veteran point guard, and last year he averaged 19.3 points a game with 4.9 assists, and he shot 42% from the field. And I find, what I'm gonna say, what Walker's gonna bring to the team is not only an experience at a point guard, but some pizzazz. Come on, we know that. And the thing what we're gonna have to do is find an efficient way to have Randle and Walker on the floor at the same time and playing cohesively together. It won't be a challenge, I don't think so. And trust me, the way Elton played last year, running around with a chicken with his head cut off, it can't get no worse than that. So I'm giving this signing, it was a surprise, a luck, a gift, whatever you want to call it, but it's still a grade A. I give it a grade A. And last but not least is my man Taj Gibson. Gibson, how can I explain his role on this team? I put him in two categories actually. I would say he's an extra, a reserve, even for our center or a power forward. But then he's like an extra coach on the bench. So I would say his leadership, that's what Gibson really brings to this team, and that's what really valued. Because when we first signed Gibson, it was like at the minimum. I didn't even think it was over $5 million. But then the New York Knicks management restructured that contract. And they gave him $10 million per year, making it almost a $20 million contract for 2 years. But like I said, the Knicks management is really doing great things when they give out these contracts. They're thinking ahead of time. That contract is 2 years, but the second year is also an option. So it may be $10 million and maybe a little bit high for a role player and a bench coach. But Taj Gibson gave us some real solid minutes when we needed, and he would be there to help the young guys, like Jericho Sims, you know what I'm saying, and even my man Quentin Grimes. Like, they would probably look up to him, his work ethic and his habits. So I mean, I give that signing, I give it a grade of a B minus, and still a good signing. Matter of fact, if you were to put all the guys together, I would give management and how they handle all the contracts that they doled out, I would give them an A plus, because they thinking of the future, not of like our previous management where they just went out and sold the farm. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks is looking good roster wise, manager. I don't know about ownership, but the Knicks is looking good, and I'm looking forward for the future. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want, you can inquire about I wish a Brooklyn Net fan would, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want y'all to stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and peace.